Hmm. Getting a lot of drop frames. Not sure how bad it looks on your end. Nope, nope, that's not it. There we go. That's it. Alright, so I didn't start sooner because I was busy trying to figure out how WonderDraft worked, and this is the best I could do with a star map in WonderDraft. I don't think it's gonna work out. I saw a bunch of other people make maps in WonderDraft, and I'm like, wonder how they did that. There's no real tutorial on that. They mostly just do land stuff. But basically, I blacked out the water map, and then I using land to draw the planets and everything. And that seems like a lot of time consuming. Yeah. So I'm using the Rogue Trader Stars of Iniquity to create the system as well, and it starts on page 9. So I was thinking about using WonderDraft to make it, or Dungeon Draft. I actually know Dungeon Draft a little better, but I felt like WonderDraft was more the tool for it, or at least for planet creation. And then I was just going to sketch it in Foundry VT if I couldn't figure out how those programs worked for making a star system. So I was just going to like not worry about it at all. So because I know I'm not going to be able to make a very good dungeon map, space map and dungeon draft without assets. So I'm not going to bother testing that out. I know WonderDraft, I just tried that out just now, and it's still kind of hard to navigate the interface and figure out everything. But as you can see, I blacked it out. I select black and white for the water texture, so it looks more like space, and then worn texture for the air quotes planets and stars. And then for land, these are all the icons here. So now I just have to figure out how to color them, which I'm having somewhat trouble trying to do. Oh, actually, here it is. There we go. Add some color. And remove color from side, and maybe use it like a bright yellow. That doesn't seem not that much like a star. That's the best I could do. So I might end up using maybe they're just too big. Could be too big. Oh well. Anywho, I'm just gonna put a pin in that. I'll figure out how that program works later. Discard my stuff for now. Now then, if I wanted to sketch this in Foundry VDT, while my players are present so we can make the map together, I want to make sure that players can use the drawing tools at either the player level or the trusted player level, and then I'll assign them the trusted player thing if necessary. And you can get to this menu by going to configure settings and the little cog wheels over here, open permissions, and then you scroll down to use drawing tools. There's also other stuff in here that you might want to consider checking, but I mostly checked everything for trusted player, and then I'll just give them the trusted player thing. Probably don't want them to use that at all. And save config, and save this as well. And then to give them the proper role, you just go to user management, and then you make sure they're marked to trusted player. If anyone wants to hop in and make the map with me, feel free to join my Discord or post stuff in chat. And yeah, so feel free to join the Discord and post up in chat for fun and help me generate this star map. So Foundry has a default blank map setting. So this right here is the inner, and this is the buffer range, and this is the not going to use range. So I'll go over the map, how the map works real fast. So background color is the grayness, as you can see. I don't want to set it to black because then it's just too hard to see, so I'm going to leave it on gray. Initial view position, you want to set this if you have, like, if the players are starting in the small left corner, you might as well just set the initial position to there. But since this is like an overworld map, I'll just probably set it to this, so that way you don't have to zoom out every single time they go to the map, but just go straight to this view right here. Grid size, I'm going to set it to 2 meters just for now. 2 meters is 5 feet, and vice versa. I'm dropping a lot of frames, and I don't know why. I think my internet's just bad. But let me know if the stream starts having issues. All right. Most of this other setting is not going to be used. All right, so then I'm going to grab the pen tool, going to grab the drawing thing, and then I'm going to doodle. There you go. So I confirm that I can doodle on the map. And then I'm going to roll. I'm going to type that in chat just so I have a point of reference of what I'm doing right here. I like to mark the end and start of sessions. That way when I export the thing, I'm not just scrolling infinitely for stuff. Pretty sure I can use Control F to search for stuff. So the end and start of session, as well as making a map here, also helps mark it. So let's see here. Okay, just to adjust the line widths and colors, you go to here and lines, fill color. Oh, excuse me. And other stuff. But mostly I don't think I need to adjust that. All right, so system creation, the very first step is to row key features. Let's see. So once again, I'm using Rogue Trader Stars of Inequity to generate the system. So there's going to be a bunch of rolling on charts, and I'm going to try to summarize the paragraphs of text. So first thing is system features, and I think I just roll on it once. The first step in defining a system is to generate the system features and influence everything within it. Most systems are defined by a single such phenomenon, but some particularly exotic territories house multiple interacting or even conflicting elements. A given system receives 1d5 minus 2 to a minimum of 1 rolls. All right, so this is my system features check. Oh, whoops, I did that incorrectly. So what I'm doing right now is I'm typing in chat my role, And in Foundry, you can do brackets and then the text outside of the brackets, and that way they'll post it together without an error. You can do /r, but I like to do it this way, and none of my modules are turned on. That explains why everything looks different. All right, let's see here. 1d5 minus 2 to a minimum of 1 is the number. Shoot. I got a 1. So I'm going to go back to my little chart thing over here and then type this in here. So the system features are Bountiful, Gravity Tides, Haven, Ill Omen, Pirate Den, Ruined Empire, Starfarers, Stellar Anomaly, Warp Stasis, and Warp Turbulence. And then I just roll a d10 to decide which one of those things is on there. So before I take a step further, I guess I'll show some examples of systems. So this is the official system from the one of the rule books, the Spinwood. No, it's not the Halo Stars. Yeah, that is. So when they make a system, they usually tag each world with a specialized color or symbol, and then they sort of tell you what it is up in a keyword box or whatever they call it. And then they section it out. I'm pretty sure there's some sort of lore about all these little things here. The stellar anomalies, I guess, is what you would call them. I think some players added some specialized stuff because unclassified is white. It seems like aftermarket stuff. Now, this is a giant one that some players made. Whoops. Dang it. But I'll find it. There you go. So they probably use Paint or something. Probably Photoshop. You can't make lines like that in Paint. So they just tagged everything, and then similarly to what the other map, they made a key down there at the bottom left and marked it. And then someone also combined both of these maps and put it in a grid for some reason. I guess to help you navigate it, but it's kind of a little off. Oh, here we go. Oh, they put it in a grid to calculate the distance of travel. Oh, excuse me. So each box represents an 8-day warp travel, and it appears like mostly there's one planet in each box. I could... Oops. Shoot, I lost it. I'm on my scroll wheel and I'm trying to zoom in. Oh, here we go. So I'm thinking that I could probably figure out the distance pretty easily. This is about, I guess, one thumbprint apart. I'm gonna write that down. don't need that open anymore. Yeah, here's just another example. Don't need to look at it. Alright, so it's important to look at some examples so you have some idea what you're doing. That's what I'm doing. Seems pretty far apart. Don't think I'm dropping that many frames anymore. Cool. Alright, so I have some math done. So that means one square is for one planet, and if you move from this square to the next square, that is a whole day. But I'm probably going to be drawing rather big, so let me zoom all the way out, and then let's see here. Yeah, that's pretty big. I can't actually draw that small, so I'm trying to figure out the logistics real fast. Let's see here. Can I? Nope, can't just left click. I guess I'll leave it alone for later when I do it in the official map thing. So anyways, I'm now on to roll a D10 on the system features table. And at this one I can just do a /D10. That was incorrect. I rolled a 1. It is bountiful. And exile that. I'm gonna turn on all my modules so I don't forget to do it next time. That's weird. I think they actually just put the select tool everywhere now. The lights don't have select tool. Yeah, excellent. All right, there we go. All right, so next step is that I'm going to bountiful. What does bountiful mean? Oh, actually, I'm going to actually just go ahead and add in like 1 or 2 things. I'm going to add in a pirate din, as I'm using this for a existing campaign, so there's stuff I want in there already. All right. A system with the bountiful system feature has been blessed with an abundance of rare and unusual materials. The formation of the nearby stars might have, bled off an unusual amount of exotic materials, blah blah blah. It's just saying the same thing. All right, so it's not suggesting stuff to do. I think that looks better. Yeah, I can read that a lot easier. Trying to make sure those bullet points lined up, at least, so they're section off like that. And then I'll just copy and that's what Bountiful does in like one sentence. Now then, Haven, what does that do? So gravity ties, let's see here. In most systems, the pull of gravity is a constant, unchangeable fact of the universe. Share the light of the stars, blah, blah, blah. Ah, man, these paragraphs are so thick. So basically, a gravity tie just makes it harder, more dangerous place to sail. It has the strength to tear apart a ship hull, according to the skim reading I just did in a second there. I'm also going to skim read these things because they seem to be pretty thick in the descriptions, and a lot of it seems to be unnecessary. All right, Haven. Let's see here. Oh, and once again, I'm reading in the Rogue Trader Stars of Iniquity, page 10. If you want to follow along and also roll up stuff and make suggestions, feel free. And if you want to join me in a voice call, you're welcome to join my Discord and chat as I talk about it. Let's see here. The nightmare systems that suffer no intrusion, details, blah, blah. Wait. A haven is... Okay, so a haven is basically, like a system that has many habitable worlds. Oh, this is funny. Or sad, I don't know. It kind of depends. The crews which make such finds are not always as fortunate as they imagine, as the inhabitants of such worlds often take a dim view of the idea that their home belongs to a complete stranger by right of divine providence, and frequently have enough resources to take their own displeasure known, or make their own displeasure known. So it's like making the argument that everything belongs to the Empire of Man. So you show up there on that planet going, oh, hey, here's a world I finally found that belongs to me. And then the person on there has a gun and he goes and shoots you. He goes, nope. And this is saying like, oh, no, the Empire is the victim here. You know what? I kind of like Haven as well, so I'm going to add that too to my list of things. So over here, I'm like adding in the system features. I only wrote one, but I'm going to also add in a few more just to make sure I have enough stuff to play with when I get around to making the planets. Because I expect players to like wander around in the system for the entirety of the campaign. So if there's only like one world and then everything else is just shitty, that's completely stupid and pointless. So I'm going to add stuff in there that I like. Alright, so an Il-Ilmund. And the stuff I posted is all the modifiers that it says to add into the planets and everything. Alright, let's see here. There are places throughout the galaxy that are blighted by unseen forces, undetectable by the fire sensors of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Oh my god, so much text that doesn't really explain what an Il-Ilmund is. Okay, so a Il-Ilmund system feature is just, no one likes it and no one wants to go there. That is my summary of that. All right, Pirate Den. A powerful pirate fleet is based within the Star Era. I wish all the paragraphs were like that. Simple. Straightforward. Oh, I didn't really get the... Yeah. I'm just going to put wealthy planets. That's probably a poor description of what a haven is, but I don't feel like reading that paragraph again to figure out what they mean. That's too much paper. That's just too much work. Oops. All right, let's see. Oh, and let me see here, announcements. You can also do that in my own channel. All right. So Pirate Den has pirates in it. Yeah, all kinds of variety of pirates. Yep, okay. By default, a Pirate Den consists of 1d5 Wolfpack Raiders, led by a formidable flagship. When generating a pirate den, roll 1d10 on a row of 5 or higher. It is based around a space station. GMs have access to Battery Kronos can choose to make use of the Orc, Eldar, Ragul, or Chaos vessels for alternate fleets. A pirate den is never home to less than 5 ships and rarely houses more than 8. So I'm definitely going to make a pirate den, and I'm going to copy the... Well, I mean, I don't really have to copy them since they're kind of short. What's a Wolfpack Raider? You know what? I'll just grab the whole paragraph and then I'm just gonna skim it down from there. All right, by default, consistent with D5 Raider system. All right, so my roles are as followed. Shoot. No, well, right, it's on my right hand side. I don't know why I'm trying to worry about that. So then, first roll is a 1d5 plus 4. This is to determine the number of Wolfpack Raiders. Uh, 1d10. On a roll of 5 or higher, it's based around a station. I'm doing shift enter just so it indents, creates a new line. And then finally, let's see here. Yep, that's the only rolls. So never mind on that last one. Actually, last one. So they give you race options. So there's Orc, Eldar, Ragul, or Chaos vessels. So let's see here. How many different races are there in Warhammer 40k? Orc, Eldar. Let me write these down. That way. All right. So I need a 1d. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 right there. Yeah, I'll just roll for one of these 4 right here. All right, so I got 7 Wolfpack Raiders. They are not around a space station, and I got a 2, so these are Eldar pirates. Acceptable. I kind of want Ragul pirates, though. That seems more interesting. I haven't played with Raguls. What book are they found in? Oh well. Let me go ahead and type in my results. You know what? I'm going to roll a second one just so there's something to do. Yeah, I got Raguls. There's 9 of them, and they're based around a station. Ooh. This is interesting. It's getting interesting now. So I decided to go ahead and roll a second time just so that there is another option. I might use both options or just take option one. Use one option. It depends on my mood, I guess. I'm gonna go look at what the red goals are. This is a comma here, so this is actually a good area for a bullet point. There. It's a little bit more easier to read. Alright, so I got my part done. Ruined Empire. What is a ruined empire, you're wondering? Well, remnants of an ancient civilization, both human and alien. Why can't they just do that for all the paragraphs? Like, I read like 2 paragraphs where it immediately tells me what the thing is in the first line of text, while the rest of the ones seem to, like, ramble on. So after reading that first sentence, I do kind of want a ruined empire. So I'm just going to make a ruined empire. Starts trying to use the random system creation thing and goes, I'm just going to use everything. Yes, this is what happens when the GM just wants to play with his toys. And he wants to watch the players scream in horror. Oh, what? You guys want some pirates? Well, I already had those. Don't worry about it. Also, ruined civilization and a haven over there. Alright, so let's see here. Move that to there. Yeah. I'm making sure my bullet points are nice and lined up. So yeah, they look like it. So, Ruined Empire. Let's do this. Dot. Remnants of blah 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 in the expanse. I guess sector is the preferred term. Let's go with that. This paragraph is actually pretty easy to read and kind of informative. Basically, it was just saying that most people get rich off of systems like system features like this, as the civilizations are spread across multiple worlds and they have usually valuable tech and whatnot. So then, let's copy this. I can read it later in my notes, and then we'll copy this. Maybe I should roll for this now then, but I should probably double check and make sure I didn't need to roll for anything. There, that's fixed. That's bothering me. I'll come back to those later. Maybe I should roll more dice. I feel like rolling more dice. I should probably get through the system features now, go back and cover them again. Starfarers. Not all of the expenses, lost treasures are entombed behind long abandoned walls or hidden behind a pall? Is that a word? I never heard of that. Let me double check. A pall, a cloth spread over a coffin, hearse, or tomb. I see.
Paul.
Oh, I am saying it right.
Paul.
Get on that coffin, Paul. Alright, so let's see here. It has a little sidebar about how to combine all the features together, make sure it's all cool and they're working out together. So now, moving on to Stellar Anomaly, I don't see any point in the Starfarer. Starfarer is basically a native population of aliens. I feel like, I'll probably add some on planets anyway, so I don't see the point of using that as a stellar feature. So now I'm on to the Stellar Anomaly. Among the Imperial Citizen Privilege, okay, I'm just going to skim read this now. Many star systems throughout the galaxy are themselves in orbit of a variety of bizarre phenomena with little in common other than their incredible mass of gravity. Stellar Anomaly doesn't sound useful. Especially since it doesn't clearly say what it is in one sentence. It's some vague thing in the space that does bad stuff. That's all I wanted to read. Alright, warp stasis. All voidmen worth the name. God damn it. Skim reading this one as well. I'm doing a lot of skim reading. These paragraphs are pretty thick with nonsense that isn't, useful to read on stream. Though you can read along yourself if you have the book, page 13 currently. So warp stasis just doubles the travel time, as far as I can care to read. So I'm just going to move on to the next one. Warp turbulence. Okay, so warp turbulence is like, imagine you're sailing on the sea and there's a storm suddenly. That's what warp turbulence is. I guess turbulence will probably cue you in on there. Cue you in on it, but essentially it just makes it harder for navigators to navigate through the system. All right, so I'm finally on to star creation. So here I'll pause and I'll double check all the stuff that I picked out and make sure I have rolled out the necessary stuff. So bountiful. Let me delete that. Let me indent that. And then I think heading 2. That way it pops up on here. And go ahead and full screen this. So now I'm gonna apply some headings so I can easily jump to them. And then I'm gonna reformat it and make sure it looks nice. All right, so then. So I need to roll a d10. I rolled a d10. I could be playing Elden Ring right now. It calls to me. It calls to me. All right, so on a result of 6 or more, roll 1d5 additional times on table 1, 2 mineral. So I'm gonna mark this by putting it in green. That I was successful. And then there's another d10 roll over here. I got a 4. And I'm going to just put this in red. Well, I'll just put this in red. There. So that's been checked off, completed. I'm probably going to take both options, just to be honest. Alright, let's see. That way they have 2 fleets they can go fight. Or the 2 fleets can fight each other while they go fight them. I don't know. I think it just adds some more stuff for them to do. They can either fight one fleet, they can fight both fleets separate, or fight both fleet together in a threesome. Or they can side with one fleet against the other one, and then betray the other one. I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Let me. I'm gonna put wealthy planets ? Or maybe wealthy or well-developed planets ? Because I didn't really get the explanation of what a what a haven is very well, so I'm just going to do that. Maybe instead of bullet points, I should do check marks. No, yes, maybe no, no. Oh, excuse me. Looks like there's no rolls for me to do right now. I'm gonna drink some water real fast. Excuse me. It seems like the internet has evened out. Seems like I'm no longer dropping frames. I guess it figured out that I was streaming and decided to work properly. Alright, so I bullet point out the Haven. That's more stuff for me to do later. Ruined Empire. I'll have to figure out, I guess, a Xeno race that owned the place. It's probably going to... Ooh, I should do... Ooh. I've been wanting to play with Necrons in a Warhammer 40k tabletop RPG, so I'll probably make it Necrons as the Ruined Empire. That makes sense. I'm just gonna put totally Necrons. I really like this little back end little, oh hey, you didn't make enough planets? Well here, you can do this. That's helpful. Okay, so 1d5 minus 1. Ah, shoot. I'll be right back. I had the maintenance man here to fix my dishwasher. All right, so roll. So I got a 3. And this was to add Xeno resources. And the second roll increased the abundance of any Xeno runes by 1d10 plus 5. Oops. That's 6. I'll put this in a different bracket. All right, next thing is Argo Tet. Tetch is 1d5 minus 1. It's a lot of 1d5s minus 1s. I gotta add 2, which is a 1 now, because reasons. And the second one's a 9. All right. I think that's everything. So let's see here. This was system features chart, yes. That one should be set to title, and that should bookmark everything correctly. All right, so next section I'm going into is star creation. This will be set to heading 1. Nothing has as much influence on a system as the star that it orbits. While two systems with kindred stars might differ in certain ways, and then other stuff. So the size of the star can influence the debris, the planets caught in its gravity well, as well as, I guess, life on planets as well. So, typical astrology. And the Adeptus Mechanicus say the stronger the star, the prettier the color is. So if it's blue, it's the hottest. If it's red, it's not that hot. I'm paraphrasing and probably ad-libbing a bit more. Otherwise, I'd say I'm correct. see. So. All right. So 1d10. Here's a 1. Okay, so in game terms, there's a special zoning going on that I just skimmed read and found. So there are 3 zones. There's the there's the inner cauldron, primal biosphere, and the outer reaches. So I'll probably have like 3 rings, and I'll put my planets according to that. This is just information on where you will likely place your planets. So, and the most inner ring, which is the inner cauldron, that's where all your resource-rich planets will probably be placed. But those are also the most inhospitable worlds. Those are literally on fire, probably, and toxic. Not death worlds. I think they're more like what was the word for it? Dead worlds, I think it was. Not death worlds. I don't know. I forget the name. And then the biosphere is where all the habitable planets are. All right. So let's see here. I got a mighty star. So let me just go ahead and put that in there. probably will end up deleting all that. But that's just summary information what each zone does. Hopefully this turns out well. Each zone has a variable number of system elements within it, generate with the 1-3 table elements. A solar zone typically size generates 1d5 system elements. However, the influence of the system star as German affects the sort of thing. Okay, so let's see the first slice. So this one is dominant. Oh, this one, the inner column. Yeah. So the next chart is the system elements, and it says to figure out which areas within the 3 zones is dominant or weak, and that determines what dice you roll for that. So the inner cauldron is dominant, while the biosphere is weak. And it doesn't mention the halo ring, so I guess nothing. All right, so yep, that's pretty much it. So I'm still trying to figure out about the outer reaches. Yeah, that's what it's called, outer reaches. I think the outer reaches doesn't get anything, any sort of modifiers. So I think the outer reach is just a D5. Yeah, it does say in some of these that the outer reaches is dominant and then the other places are weak or whatnot. So I guess if it doesn't mention its quality, then I think it's just normal. So at the center of my little map here, I'm going to draw a circle. Oops. Let's draw a circle. Here we go. I guess this is big enough. And I'm going to fill it with blue. That's my planet. Sorry, not my planet. My sun. This is my sun. Maybe like a brighter blue. I don't know. Maybe like a darker. Yeah, I guess so. I should probably, yeah, that's good enough. All right, now let's roll on the table then. Let's see here. Inner Cauldron is dominant, therefore I roll a... So 1d5 plus 2. Dang it. There. Problem solved. So I got a 5. So that means I roll on the chart that many times. So let's just put 5 rolls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why have some of these messages? It doesn't matter. All right, so then 77, 62, 32, 91, and 4. So then, in the inner ring, I guess I'll just do another circle. And just call it the inner ring. Maybe make it that big. Give it some text. Oh, inner cauldron. Yeah, that seems to work. She doesn't really work. Dang it. There. Send it to the back. That worked. Let's call you Sun. I'm going to make this black as well. And then text alignment center to left. Okay, that made like no difference. Still no difference. Oh, let me just add a bunch of spaces there. There. And still no difference. Okay. Well, that's perfectly in the center. Probably about this big is good enough. There. Sun, inner cauldron. Now then, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stellar features, and I rolled them, and I'm going to type them into here. 77, 62, 32, 91, and 4. I guess I should add commas or something. So with a result of 77, that gets me radiated bursts. I guess I have to look it up later. 62 is a planet. 32 is dust cloud. 91 is solar flares. I think rolling high is bad. 4 is, oh, no feature. I guess I don't have to list that. Wait, no, that was 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, good. Yeah, I got them all. They all been gotten. Cool, so somewhere in the inner cauldron there's a planet. I'll worry about that later. Next step is the biosphere. So the biosphere, as I recall, is weak. Therefore, it rolls at 1d5 minus 2. And I got a 1. I'm probably going to end up adding more planets, though. It has to have planets here. Otherwise, there's nothing to do. Yeah, I'll just add in the planets later, as I see fit. I think I had like 3 planets planned that I wanted them to go to. Excuse me. Alright, so then, minimum of 1. So 1 roll of a D100 on the system element table for the primary biosphere. 54 means gravity riptide. And the last row is the outer reaches. And since this is not listed as it's not given a quality, I assume it's just 1d5. I have 4 dice rolls to make. So according to the system elements chart, there is no, oh, actually there is a chance for a planet on all of them. There's a chance for a planet on all of them. It's just a higher or lower chance. So I got a 49. Oh, derelict station. That's perfect for the pirates to hang out at. 31 is asteroid cluster. Perfect for the other pirates to hang out at. 86 is a planet. Ooh. And starship graveyard. Oh, whoops. 86 is the planet. 61 is gas giant. Nice. I actually kind of want the starship graveyard now because that actually sounds pretty cool. So I'm just gonna like indent this and just put it in there, and I'm gonna put a question mark there. All right, now then, I have rolled all the system elements. Oh, excuse me. The next step is to determine the that looks weird. The next step is to mention what each system element actually does. I got an asteroid cluster, not belt. Oh wait, I think I have modifiers that I forgot to check. So first thing is I need to add any asteroid belt or asteroid cluster. I have a asteroid belt. Oh, I have an asteroid cluster down there. I think I'll add an asteroid belt over here. And the biosphere. I'm going to highlight this in green so I know I did it. And then I'm just going to tag this onto the insert asteroids, belts, and whatnot. So I remember to do that. That's so weird. Oh, I need to do that separately for the other one. Okay, it succeeded. I'm going to go ahead and roll it now. I won't forget about it. Because it says wait until players approach it. And I'm just going to roll it now. Right? It does say that when explorers approach an asteroid belt. Yeah. Explorers are the player's party and the rogue trader. I should probably come back to these things because I think they affect it after the rolls are made. Mostly they come into effect. Or they're easily more applied after the fact. So I'll come back to that again. So back down to here, figuring out what all this stuff does. Alright, so I grabbed an asteroid belt. Okay, so the asteroid belt has rules for passing through it, which is cool. So I'm just going to add them here. I'll look it up later. Essentially, it's just a giant belt that goes through the system, and passing through it, the players have to make a maneuverability test or, crash into the rocks. Actually, you know what? I think it might help if I just check here if I don't need to roll anything else for the system. I think this is the only last thing I have to do here. Pirate Den, I think I just have to figure out where I want it placed. I want to add one planet to each solar zone. Let me just highlight this in green so I know I did it. Actually, can I quickly just shift these to checkboxes? That would also help. Yeah, cool. It actually worked this time. Normally it overwrites all the bullet points, which is annoying as hell. There. I'll put it in red, noting that they failed it. Actually, I guess it doesn't. I don't know why I'm playing around with that. It doesn't matter. Alright, now then, moving on to Pirate Den. Add checkboxes to these. Actually, which ones need checkboxes? Oops. Yeah, that looks like about everything. Alright, I think we can go back to system elements now. Okay, so derelict space station is essentially exactly what it sounds like. It was either abandoned because it was too decrepit, dangerous, or too expensive to maintain, or not no longer necessary or needed, so they just left. It was cheaper to just leave it, effectively. And there's stuff to roll on for it later on in the chapter, so I'll just copy that and come back to it later. Dust cloud. Did I roll a dust cloud? Yeah, I did. So dust clouds can either be the remains of an asteroid field, which are the remains of space rocks or planets. And dust clouds can also be the remains of a solar flare. And they really only offer like a slight concealment for the vessel. They have special rules. And the core rulebook, so I guess I'll be looking at those up later, and then I'll probably build a little starship encounter around it. Let's see here. I feel like the purpose of the dust cloud is like, if you ever watch, like, there was an anime I watched where there was like space pirates or sky pirates. Let's go with space pirates, since that would probably make more sense. So, like in Star Trek or Star Wars, probably Star Trek, they did it more often. Is when they were getting chased by a enemy and they couldn't shake them, they go fly into that dust cloud and we'll lose them in there. It'll scramble everyone's sensors, including ours. And that's essentially what the dust cloud probably does. I'll have to go look at the rules, but I'm pretty sure that's what it does. Next thing is a gas giant. Gas giant. Here we go, gas giant. So gas giants usually have a tightly packed cluster of moons or a planet or something like that in there, and that's why they're important. Oftentimes, Rogue Traders thinks they have those things there, so which probably equals wealth or treasure. So the gas giant itself isn't really that important. It just probably conceals something that's important. I'll be right back. Alright. Gravity Riptide is next on the thing. Do I have any Gravity Riptides? I don't think I have those in there because all they do really is just damage the ship. Yeah, I do. Here it is, Gravity Riptide. It's in my primary biosphere. So, Gravity Riptide is probably exactly what it sounds like. The signs that warn of these destructive vortices can be nearly impossible to spot until a void ship is nearly upon them. The augurs register the anomaly barely soon enough to scream a klaxon of warnings. Ugh! The fear of these unseen hazards plagues the many of veterans. So basically, a void riptide is not like a rock in space. It's more like if you were sailing a boat on the open sea. I guess it'd be like a very hard wave. I don't think it's a very good metaphor for this. I had to text my mother. Was she supposed to pick up a Dollar Tree? Alright, where was I? Gravity Riptide. It's not like turbulence. It's something harsher than turbulence, I assume, from their fear. Because otherwise they'd just be saying, oh, it's just harsh waves and the turbulence. What was the other word? There was another word for something else that you run into. Turbulence. Well. Either way, the game says that voidsmen fear these things because they're unseen hazards. So they're probably really bad. Don't want to drive into those. And they're in the core rulebook, page 227. So I'll learn more about those gravity riptides later, I guess. So my Dark Heresy 2E campaign, I started out first with using a little bit of the only war adventure I prepped for. Because I was like, sure, why not? And then after they got like halfway through it, I was like, I guess I'll just go ahead and throw out all that stuff in the old campaign and start over. Which worked out pretty well, I would say. And after they completed their inquisitorial, I don't want to say training mission. What's the other word? Initiation mission probably is more like it. Training / initiation / are you hiring test. They completed it. The Rogue Trader, the Inquisitor gave them a hard time after they completed it, questioning them, make sure they weren't going to forget the lessons they learned there, or impart some wisdom upon them. And upon them successfully passing that small test, he then gave them another test to I forgot one thing. So first thing was the hostile survival exercise on the planet of Skyrene. Then they had to do a small investigation to find out who planet letters and whose office. And then after that, he grilled them about it and made sure they wouldn't make the same mistakes they made then, and then he sent them on an actual mission to check out our rogue trader's space station and see if he's heretical or not. And now that was campaign 1. After successfully figuring out whether or not the rogue trader was a heretic, weeding out the heretic that was there, and then negotiating a peace treaty, they then proceeded to end the campaign. Now I'm starting up campaign 2, and I decided to actually make a system map using the rogue trader rules. And at the end of campaign 1, I awarded the players a spaceship and a small army, and several starships because I was bored and I wanted to like have fun as well. So I was like, here's a bunch of cool things you guys can play with. And now I need to make a system so they can actually get to use that stuff. Alright, so I rolled a 1d100 to determine what the derelict station origin is, and I got a 46. On this chart, it says a 46 is STC defense. Ooh, this is exactly what I had in mind. I was like thinking, hey, you know what I could do with this derelict station? I could make it like that movie Space Odyssey. I think it was a 10,000 BC Space Odyssey. I forget what the number was, but it was a Space Odyssey. So anyways, that's what I got. This is getting pretty cluttered. Pretty cluttered. I wish it had more colors. Help me navigate this a little better. Space station. Derelict space station. Yeah, here we go. Alright, let me just double check this again. So let's see here. If there's an active civilization appropriate to the level, If the system is devoid of past or present life flow on the derelict space station, I went and rolled on that anyways, and I don't really care about this part because I like to, like I said, I'm throwing in more stuff that I didn't get the chance to do when I was a player, so why would I throw in the exact same thing you find on the planet in the space station when the derelict space station is supposed to be like something more unique? So that's why I rolled on the chart, and I got a STC defense station. The core of the station is based off a standard pattern derived from the standard template and construction technology, like countless others throughout the Imperium. What remains of the banks of the weapon batteries and torpedo bays indicates that it was once intended to safeguard a human colony from attack. I think this might be a good little side quest out there to either encounter some sort of hostile AI or maybe scavenge it for resources like torpedoes. I'm adding bullet points so I can easily more digest it. I can just go, oh, alright, that's bullet points, skip to the next one. Derelict space station. Maybe I should move this over here so I can easily track what I rolled. I'm going to move this here since I'm supposed to. So right here it says roll on the chart to see what kind of origin it is, and then, well, to determine the creators. Wait. Yeah, this is it. Oh, okay. I see these two are the same thing. And then I roll on the generate the archaeotext. 1d5 minus 10. 1d5 minus 1. Why did I say 10? Wait, what? Okay. Wait, what? No. What did I roll? Oh, I did plus. So it's 4. My result is 4. I have Windows open. All right. On to planets. There's no real reason for me to read the text block about planets. The planet is a planet. Well, let me just skim read real fast. Do I have radiation bursts? I got a little bit of everything in here. So anyways, my camping 2 for Dark Heresy 2e will be have elements of the Rogue Trader system in it. My plan is to build a system map, ask players what kind of adventures they want to go on, and then design it accordingly. As well as do the freedom roam, a little bit of, hey, you guys can stop here and exploit this planet if you want. And there's a side quest down here.
my god, there's so much text for this solar burst. So much rules to remember. I have to actually write this down. Let me just copy it all. I'll just shove it in there. I'll put it in like a note. I'm gonna have to do so much note prep work for all these traveling through the warp and whatnot. So much. I don't have any solar flares. Ah, fuck, I do have a solar flare. Oh, the radiation burst is essentially every 1d5 days, a burst of energy goes through the zone, and that causes the ship to malfunction and requiring repairs for its auger array. Oh, excuse me. Solar flares so far. Let's see here. Solar flares does damage. Okay, I didn't actually mute myself. All right, I got a little distracted. Let's see here. Starship Graveyard. Yes, that's something I added in at the bottom because I thought it sounded cool, and that's what you should always do. If it sounds cool, you should probably put it in there. That's generally the best advice you'll ever hear when it comes to tabletop RPGs. If it sounds cool, put it in there. If it doesn't work out, at least that you still got to put that cool thing in there, and that's all that really matters. All right, let's see here. So my idea for the Starship Graveyard is either to just have a series of broken down ships and then maybe like a Space Hawk hidden in there, or just ships. I did read about a Wrath and Glory has a Space Hawk generation, but then I checked all the forum posts and everything to see. I was like looking for examples of people actually using it and what kind of stuff to find on the chart. And most of that information seems pretty much kind of useless. Or it's not in-depth enough, I guess. Not useless, not in-depth enough. They have like either 5 options or 6 options. 5 options or 10 options. And it didn't seem like anyone said it had any like sort of like a quest generation process or anything like that. It was basically what I'm doing here, but only like 5 rolls, and this one right here is like 20 plus rolling on stuff. I guess my point is there's just like very little information on building a Space Hawk. I expected a lot more. So Starship Graveyards, of course, have starships in them. So therefore, it's a good place for starship-based scavenging, such as fuel, spare plating, conduits, parts, and some Space Hawks contain full cargo holds or even intact ships. Okay, I decided to add this in here, so time to roll on the chart. Probably mostly Imperial vessels, because that's the only really the ones I'm familiar with. Yep. Alright, I can just copy this one. Shove it in some brackets. Maybe delete some of these things. players looking at this. Probably. I don't know. Now I'm rolling on the origins for the graveyard. 38. I am using 1d5 so many times, I wish I was a 1d5 dice. Let's see here. It's almost 4 p.m. Maybe I should leave planet creation for next time. Yeah, I'll leave planet creation next time. Well, thanks for dropping by. If any questions, let me know. And if you want to join my Discord server, I'll just post in chat again. I got some reading to do and stuff. I'll do heading 1 for this. Double text for you. Oop. Yeah, so that's mostly how I'm going to generate the system. I have this little thing here started up. I was thinking of doing like the inner ring, putting all the stuff that I think should go here, and then assigning the outer ring, which I could actually do. I think it should be around the side. It said that this was a small band, and then outward from there is the other ring. So I guess I'll just plot this out real fast. So from what I can tell, this is how it should look theoretically. Let's see. This is the. My mother keeps texting me. Let me just, okay, so let's see here. Up here, and yeah, it's called the biosphere. The biosphere is weak, so it's small. And then this here is the outer reach. It's probably not the perfect circle, but you know, you make do with what art skills you have. All right, so then let's see here. I'm gonna plot everything out real fast. So I could have done it earlier, but I want to know what everything would look like. I kind of have it a bit more clear in my head now. So star creation, did that. Yeah, here we go. So radiation burst. This is no set object in space. This is just a AOE effect that comes out from the sun. There's a planet, so I want to set that in stone somewhere. I'll just put it over here. It's a little big so I can see it. I'll just put planet. I'll move it around if I want it somewhere else, but I mostly just want everything there. And then a dust cloud, I'll make more of an oval because the dust cloud is supposed to be able to obscure planets and other stuff. So this is more like a something the players can drive into. Next is solar flare. This is another AoE that just happens in that zone. Each of these things are zones. Inner cauldron is closest to the sun. It's dominant, so therefore it has more dangerous hostile effects from the sun. Primary biosphere is where mostly the habitable planets. This is like the sweet spot where it's not too hot, it's not too cold. However, it's weak, so there's not that much life there. But I'll probably end up adding more life there just because I had a whole bunch of homebrew missions planned, and I had like an ice planet, probably a death world or feudal world and stuff like that. So I think that's at least 5 planets I had planned, and that's clearly I didn't roll up enough planets over here, so I'm just gonna have to shove them in here anyways. And probably some will go in the outer reach, like the winter planet, because further away from the sun is cold, so I assume that's where it should go. I have to go. Be right back. All right. So solar flares, random, and then I have another planet. This is still in, excuse me, still in the inner cauldron. I'm gonna save some time by copying and pasting this, and I know there's another one down here, and I know there's one out there. Because of the haven I picked, there's one planet in each area anyways. So next thing is the primary biosphere. It has a gravity riptide. That's something that isn't really seen on the map, so I'm not going to put it there. I put down the planet. Now for the asteroid belt. So I'm just going to copy paste this. I'm going to put it over here, but it doesn't really need to be over here. I'm just going to put it over there just so it looks like it's somewhat done. That's probably spelled wrong, but I don't care. I'm in a little bit of a hurry. Outer reaches. This is this zone. This is furthest from the sun. Therefore, it's probably colder and and there's less habitable planets because of the temperature and whatnot. There's a derelict station. I'm just going to use the planet icon. Planet, asteroid cluster. I'll put it over here. There is one planet. I think I might need a second one. Yeah, I need a second planet. I'll put it on the other side of this asteroid cluster. Then there's a gas giant. This is something visible that the players enter, fly around. It's supposed to like obscure something. I'll have to figure out that later, and that's probably not the set location. I'm just throwing it on the map so I can look at it and go, oh, this is all the stuff I have to plot out and figure out how it works. And then there's a ship graveyard, which I will put over here. And then now I'm on to the planet creation stage, which I will do next stream. And as you can see, the process is pretty quick. Well, not quick. It took me 2 hours to roll just the everything but the planets. So that's because I was reading most of it and skim reading it and summarizing it for you. But I guess it would be faster. I was just doing it by myself by like 30 minutes or something. I also kept getting interrupted. But anyways, it took me 2 hours just to get to this stage. And this isn't really the set areas that I'll probably put everything at. So I'm most likely going to move stuff around. I'm thinking the inner cauldron could actually be smaller. So maybe... So right here, I'm like setting this to the back so I can select the inner ring. And I can resize it from there. Oops, grabbed the wrong thing. I need to zoom in. Whoa, I did not know you could do that. Oh, this is just simply rotating. My circle's not perfect. Thanks, game, for letting me know that. Not a perfect circle. Alright, so anywho, my god. Okay, I'm just gonna move my gas giant. There we go. Oh, there we go. So I'm gonna shrink this down. Is there a lock scale? No, there's no lock scale. So I'm going to shrink this down a little bit just so I have more room in my primary biosphere for more habitable planets, as I know I have more of those. Or rather, I should... Yeah, it's not going to be much stuff in here because... I think I had more than enough space in here. Maybe that's too close to the sun. I don't really know. Maybe I don't fucking know. You don't want to be that close to I don't know the scale yet, so this is good enough for like a quick block out of what I want the solar system to look like. So I got the inner cauldron. 2 planets are there. These 2 planets are most likely really hot and very inhabitable. And the outer reaches, you have a asteroid field. Another planet, and I'm probably going to add like 5 more planets based on the random adventures I had pre-written beforehand. And then in the outer reach, I could probably add a couple more planets out there. Unsure yet, but I have 2 planets already out here. I should probably move them closer to the primary biosphere just so people are like, oh, it's still getting heat from the sun or light and shit. I don't know. Probably should read how that works, but I mean, read up the actual science of how that works. Because I clearly know that the inner area right here, the planets are basically being roasted, and then out here is the sweet spot where planets have just enough heat to not get roasted, as well as populate with life, where people aren't freezing and dying from cold. But out here in the outer reaches, I only assume that the planets are a lot colder and less habitable due to the lack of heat and light. So I should probably double check that so I can make sure I'm placing these planets ideally, and also helping with the what the planets are like. I'm sure it's actually in the book. It'll probably go into depth in the book. But anyways, I think that's about it. So if you guys want to join my Discord, you're welcome to. And if you want to join my Dark Heresy 2 campaign, you're also welcome to join my Discord and let me know that you would like to play. It's open to new players. And if you need help learning the system, I'm willing to teach you as well. So don't worry about that. Same thing with the setting. If you're new to the setting as well, I'm willing to educate you on how the setting works. 2 of my players that started out in campaign 1 were brand new to the Warhammer 40k system and setting. So they seem to be enjoying it. Alright, so I'm probably going to show this map to my players, and then probably next Friday I'll stream again. It depends on my work schedule. I have a lot of reading to catch up on and other stuff. Alright, thanks for dropping by. Have a nice day.